Hey, got my name right for once.
Robert, my mic isn't being picked up. Is here today with us. Okay, bear with us, folks.
Testing. There, yep, it was in video. All right. Welcome everyone to Haven of Horror. As always, I am Subject. I have Robert, Rhodes, Wild, and Noah, the guy that lets himself get eaten. I don't remember his name.
Oh, I wanted to be Rhodes.
Adam Arch can't even start your stream. Hey, listen. Robert was the one that was like an hour late. Okay, we were here waiting.
A whole ass hour.
Yeah.
A zombie is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Fuck you. Welcome everyone. It's good to see you. We are doing a commentary on the 1985 George Romero Day of the Dead, which now officially puts our Dead trilogy commentaries out of whack because we did Night, and now wait. Did we do a Night commentary or was that just a review?
We did the original remake of that. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Uh, Tyler just says Noah. Oh, you will. I don't remember. I don't know.
We were talking about Scooby Doo earlier in the chat, and he was like that we'll
Oh,
figure out the exact episodes that we're gonna watch whenever we do the Scooby Doo stream. And I was like,
okay.
oh, will we?
Um. So yeah, we're skipping from night to day because we're skipping the best one. Uh, but it's fine. We'll get to it. Robert was gonna throw a fit if we didn't do this, so we had to, get it out of the way here.
That's correct. Yeah, man,
This
it's
is.
the 40th anniversary, and I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about it, though they did just announce that new 4K coming out, so that's
I
exciting.
can't wait. I will have the whole trilogy on 4K.
It's it's gonna be. This is kind of a unique trilogy that will now have. So you're gonna have a 4K for the original from Criterion, and then whoever put out the 4K of Dawn of the
Second sight,
Dead.
I think.
Second side, I think, and then Scream Factory, I think, is still doing Day of the Dead. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have three epic 4K releases from completely different studios for this
Yeah.
trilogy, as it was written. Like,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Well, and so I'll mention this ahead of time. That goes in line with this trilogy because originally Romero wanted to just bring back the two characters from Dawn, but he didn't have the rights to them. That's why this is a whole new cast, which I think worked out for
That's
the best in the end. But
that's so weird, and it's funny how much you could kind of see that with some of the main characters, and then he's like, okay, what quirk can I give them to make them
well,
different from
so
the last guy?
I'll talk more about it when we get there. But Rhodes calls the pilot Flyboy, and I
Yep.
was like, that's a mistake. Um, Adam Arch says we missed the actual anniversary by a week. Yeah, but we had
Close enough.
argue about 13 Ghosts because Robert
That's
was
true.
wrong. But yeah, as always, Patreon is in the link is in the description. If you want your comment read or question read, guaranteed, super chats are live. And let's get into it, boys.
Hell
Let me
yeah.
pull up my timer here. While I'm doing that, Robert, because you and I have not really talked about these outside of, we did the night commentary. Where does this sit for you in the trilogy?
Yeah, this has always been my least favorite of the three, but it's certainly grown on me a lot over the years, which a lot of people have with this movie. I think a lot of people weren't crazy about it at the time, and it's often it often seems to be the least favorite of the three, but I do really like it. There's a lot of great stuff here, and there's some really iconic moments that are iconic for very good reasons. I'm glad it's been reappraised. I also think since Romero has later came back and did a whole new trilogy of zombie movies, I think that, for better or worse, put this movie in a bit of a better light. In hindsight,
Yeah.
uh,
I think it's the unfortunate. It needed, even though this is what 7 years after Dawn. I think you needed even more time because a lot of people expected more Dawn.
Right.
Matthew Bass says, "Hot take: This is my favorite film in the trilogy." You know, this is so. It's funny. The first time I watched this, I had the exact same reaction that audiences in 1985 did. I hated it. I thought it was awful. This gets better
Wow.
every time I watch it. It.
Wow.
I don't know if it'll ever surpass Dawn because Dawn is is just as a package like a perfect film. I think this is better than Night easily, and even though I prefer Dawn as an overall, I think the characters in this are better than Dawn for the most part.
Interesting. I think they're doing different things.
I mostly mean these characters feel more three-dimensional, more fleshed out. Like I really like the scientist, I really like Rhodes, I really like the pilot. The alcoholic guy is funny. And that's not me not knowing their name isn't a criticism. I also don't know anybody's name in Dawn.
Pop quiz. Who's Peter?
Is that
And for
yeah?
no. So
No,
I
got
stole the I
And
stole the
he's my
question.
favorite character in that in Dawn. I don't know what his name is.
Once again, Noah is the victor when it comes to trivia.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm the horror trivia master.
Noah's read the Wikipedia page like 600 times.
That's right. I was cheating the whole time.
But welcome in, Matthew. Good to see you. All right, everybody, get your copy of your movie to timestamp 0 past all the ads. I am watching this on Peacock. Robert, I assume, is watching his Blu-ray. I don't know where mine's at the moment. And Noah's reading the Wikipedia page as usual.
Got it pulled up as we speak.
Yeah. In 3, 2, 1, play. Because I just think I was expecting something more like Dawn, and this is the complete opposite.
That's the
Yeah.
weird. Noah, but before you get to your point, I think that's the weird push and pull for me of this movie. Is it's both so different and yet too much like Dawn at the same time. And I'll try to get into specifics more as it goes. It's this really weird mix for
Interesting.
me.
Now, Romero
And
did
yeah.
say that this is his favorite of them, but then he also said his second favorite is Survival of the Dead, and he's waiting for people to reevaluate that like this one got. Sorry, Romero, I don't think that's happening. I saw that movie.
Yeah, no, but all I was gonna say earlier is like I'm honestly shocked to hear you say that, John, because I know like how much you love this movie now.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that you hated it at first.
No, I didn't go back to this for a long time. Matthew Bass
Um,
says, "Who's running this monkey farm anyway?" I'm running this monkey farm now.
and I mean, as for this being your favorite, Matthew, I don't know if it's actually that much of a hot take. I think by and large, most people see this as the worst of the trilogy, but I've actually heard arguments for all three being the best.
Same. Yeah, no, there are plenty of fans of this movie now.
Yeah, yeah, especially now. Like we've talked about, it has a big reappraisal. For me personally, this also ranks at the bottom for me, but I still really like it. I go back and forth between Dawn and Night. Like as I've gotten older, Night's grown on me a lot more.
It's tricky, right? Because like if I'm watching these and putting them on Letterboxd, all three of these just get an instant 5. Like I think they're
Yeah,
all
it's one of those
masterpieces.
trilogies where it's just each
Um,
movie's perfect.
yeah, but for me, it is Dawn, Day, and then Night.
Yeah.
And Joe Pilato is so good in this movie. That's Rhodes.
Yes.
And he would later to go on to be a voice actor in Digimon.
No.
I'm the only person that cares about that, but that's fine.
The more you know.
But this was a real quick, Robert. This was part of a 3-picture deal. Knight Rider, Creep Show, and then this with the production company. And they didn't really want to jump on this right away, so they did Knight Rider and Creep Show first, both which Knight Rider was kind of a flop, and then Creepshow was kind of a modest success, but that left very little money in the deal for this. Romero and somebody who else that was interviewed on the doc, I can't remember now, described the original script for this as an Indiana Jones movie, but in the zombie world. Like, it was huge, but then they were like, "Well, we're not going to let you make an unrated movie for $7 million," and which seems funny now. And B, you already made two movies that weren't huge successes. The most I'll give you is 4. So he's like, you know what? Fine. Now it's all in a military bunker. Honestly, I think that was for the best.
I also think that was for the best.
I saw. I know one of his pitches was like it's gonna be like Gone with the Wind, but with zombies. And
so this is shot in Florida, and would turn out to be a huge problem for a scene later in the movie. We'll get there.
A kind of a quick side tangent here, just that now that we're on this scene. A few weeks ago, I was re-listening to the Gorillaz debut album, and they have a song on here that uses the "Hello, is anyone there?" as a sample.
Oh, interesting.
So when I rewatched this movie, I was like, "Oh, that's where that's from." Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Dead Walk. Because no, I don't know if you know this, but the majority of this movie, like his other films, are shot in Pittsburgh, and then they flew down to Florida to shoot this stuff.
Well, you can tell, yeah.
And then this zombie, because this is the big, zombie besides Bub that everybody mentions, because this movie is Tom Savini's masterpiece. That is a mold of Savini, and then they remove the jaw and like do all this stuff.
And this is also notable for being Greg Nicotero's first film, and a lot of his buddies later form KMB.
No, this is not only Romero firing, I think, on all cylinders, but like he's got Savini, he's got Nicotero, he's got the composer. Now I do want to ask you guys, because Robert, you mentioned that this movie kind of has a little bit too much Dawn in it. Does some of the musical cues remind you of Dawn a little too much?
A little bit, and I think they even play for a second like a remix or an update on the famous bit of music in Dawn.
I caught that on this viewing. I never caught that before.
Yeah. I do like the main theme a lot, though. What I like about the music in all three, and while I can't see similarities with this and Dawn, I do like how the music in each movie strongly reflects the decade it's made. With the Night of the Living Dead being in the 60s and the Dawn of the Dead soundtrack sounding very 70s, and this one goes full synth 80s. And it's really cool.
Each movie is just a very strong reflection of the decade it's made in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is interesting since narratively, like, if you're looking at these three as a canon, I think they're all supposed to take place over the course of, like, maybe a year or two.
I feel like by the time you get to this movie, like, if you're watching these back to back, it plays like more time has passed.
Sure, but I wouldn't say, 15 years, but I don't know.
Because this is such a huge leap from where Dawn is, where in Dawn, there's still pockets of civilization. By day, everyone's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're all zombies. And there's Greg Nicotero playing one of the army guys here. I think him and a lot of the VX artists just acted in this movie just to fill out the cast. It's probably cheaper.
So I'll mention this. Slasher Fred says watching this movie almost feels like prediction of the COVID virus because that's what happened to a lot of us when we were quarantined. But I mean, that's the zombies genre by nature is basically what the lockdown was, right? We're all trapped and
yeah, and just the apocalyptic subgenre in general, just like the provocative imagery of like empty cities and stuff is something we find inherently scary.
You could say that about the 28 movies, especially.
28 Years Later is apparently hitting digital next week.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That would
Watch
that
it when you get
Life,
the chance.
Yeah, that and Life of Chuck. It's gonna be a great week.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
So So I was talking about how like I think this cast might be better than Dawn. The one that I will put my foot down on is the scientist woman Sarah, I think is her name. I think she's way better than the woman lead in Dawn.
I do too. I also think they're doing different things. I think her name's Fran, and that like I like her
Yeah.
fine, but
No, she's
she you know
good. She has more of a character arc of, like she starts out as kind of weak and not really able to do anything.
mhm.
By the end, she's fairly competent. But I mean, just even as an actor, I think this woman is better actor.
Yeah, for being so inexperienced, the actress here playing Sarah, I think, is really good. She's the daughter of somebody who goes way back with Romero, who has a cameo in the first movie, who I think was like a news anchor or reporter in real life, and has a little cameo like that in the first one. She's that guy's daughter, Lori Cardill, I think. Uh, yeah, and she's really good in this. I think she deserved a bigger acting career.
And to their credit, so this doc I watched is on YouTube, but I think it was made for that Scream Factory Blu-ray. She's mentioned very prominently in those interviews because she was very excited to do this movie, and she talked about how it gave her like a new appreciation for the genre. And the reviews really crushed her because this movie was not well received.
Yeah. And like that's so weird. It's so weird. You can never predict when critics how critics are going to respond to like performances in a horror movie like this. Because sometimes they'll get it right, and sometimes you're like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, and Joe Pilato
Yeah,
talked about it too because his main thing was he didn't want to go too over the top. But Romero was like, yeah, do it. And critics complained about him. I think he's the perfect villain for this movie.
that's
I
okay. Well, that's funny that he didn't want to go too over the top
Yeah,
because I think he does.
no,
But
he
that's
does,
not a
but it
criticism.
works.
Yeah, that's not a criticism. I love his scenery chewing performance in this movie.
we all know this movie is just Joe Pilato screaming ASMR. It's why they made it. It's why we watch it.
I fall asleep to it every night. Like,
And somebody pointed out in the documentary, and I really picked up on this time. I think there is a read of this movie that the soldiers are like the production studios and the producers, and the scientists are the creatives. George Romero, really struggling to do their job when the bosses don't want to listen or don't care and are making things more difficult for them. I think that falls apart a little bit at the end because they're both in the wrong. Like the scientists do things that they shouldn't be doing, and then the soldiers react in a way they shouldn't be reacting. But I do think that is an interesting read on the main conflict of this movie, it being, the creatives versus the studio.
Mhm. Yeah, I like the central conflict of in this case, the scientists versus the military, and how they just can't coexist. Which is like the running theme throughout all three movies is people's incapability of working together.
Well,
Um,
and Frankenstein will even say later, the time to stop this was when it first happened. It's too late now.
mhm.
yeah. Now it's just about living with it.
Uh, but I love the three main soldiers, Rhodes and his two lackeys. But something else that I picked up on that's really interesting is the main lackey, the one that's like always smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
He's not a cartoon bad guy like I used to think he was. Like, yeah, he goes over the top, but he also has moments like he doesn't really expect Rhodes to tell him to shoot her. He just thinks she's messing around. He's
No.
messing around.
Yeah.
And then when Rhodes is like, shoot her or I'll shoot you, he's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then of course his big final scene is him kind of praying for forgiveness
Mhm.
before going out his own way.
Yeah, he's got a couple of human moments. He also says some shit where you're like, okay, no, he's a bad guy. He sucks.
Oh
I
yeah.
just
But
think
The
he's
it's more
not.
nuanced than he said something bad, therefore he's a bad guy.
Well, we'll get to
yeah,
it.
but yeah, but
He's
John, they go out of their way to paint those him and a few of the other military guys as like horrible racists. So
very
you don't
overtly
feel
racist.
so you don't feel bad when they do die. I mean, there's more dimension to them for
Yeah.
sure, but
No, you're the last person that should be criticizing someone's racism.
yeah. No one's
That's a
gonna
joke,
understand
ladies
that
and
joke.
gentlemen. That's a
It's
joke.
a joke.
No one here at Haven of Horror supports racism. I just think with his character, they go a little further in making him, a little bit more of a dimensional character. Like, I don't think he's just purely bad because he says
Yeah,
stupid shit.
No, I think he's a bad guy, but like I said, he has his human moments. He's not
Yeah.
as over the top as
I think
a
you
lot of
see
us.
that in a second here too when he gets mad at the guy for almost getting them killed.
Hmm.
And I
Um,
think that is another thing this movie explores. It's kind of become a buzzword now. But there is, I think, underlying themes of toxic masculinity here,
Yeah.
where this guy is falling
of course,
apart.
yeah,
He's running ragged. He's not all there. But all the other soldiers are like, "What a pussy! Just get up and do your job."
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, his environment is not helping him, and
Now
his own
this guy is a
insecurities are.
cartoon character.
The one thought I had here when he's yelling right here, he sounds a lot like John DiMaggio when he raises his voice. And I just kind of thought of Bender yelling in this scene.
And of course, they look down on I think her name is Sarah. If somebody wants to fact check me, they can.
I think you're right.
But all the soldiers look down on her for being a woman, like she's not strong enough to do this job. Um,
Yeah,
but it's also not
but
one-sided because that's the soldiers. But then you get the pilot and the radio guy who they just treat her like a person, like she's just
Yeah.
their friend.
Well, it's interesting that you said earlier that you think this film has the best characters of the trilogy. I think Dawn just hits that sweet spot for me where they feel both very real and have really satisfying arcs and real dimension to them. I feel like with this movie I find to be a bit more emblematic of Romero's later work, where he's a lot more concerned with like using these characters as vessels for his ideas and points he's trying to make. And I think it does it well, but I actually find a lot of the characters in this movie a lot more, don't want to say one note, but very specific. Like this is what this character is, and you're not gonna get much. Not saying there isn't any degree of dimension to them, like we've talked about, but I don't find the most of the character arcs in this as strong as the previous. But there are some good ones. And again, I'm not saying that's inherently a bad thing. That's more just a point of preference.
I think my
and
problem is I love the Dawn cast, but I've realized that the more I watch the movie, I love maybe half of them. I like Fran and I like Peter. Yeah, Peter. What's the other cop's name?
Yes,
Fly or not
Roger.
Flyboy.
Roger's
Roger, I'm
definitely one.
very indifferent to, and then Flyboy, he makes a cool zombie.
He does. No, I think that whole cast of four works together really perfectly. I think they all complement each other
It's still my
really
second
well for
favorite
what the
movie ever
movie's going.
made. Take that for what it is.
He almost killed Don Rickles, you bastard.
Yeah, this whole time I'm just thinking
Um,
of Bender.
but like especially Sarah, she has such a distinct personality. She doesn't take shit from Rhodes. One of my favorite engagement, interactions is, "Did you hear me?" And she's like, "Yes, sir. Fuck you, sir."
I love that. Yeah. I'll also say that of the antagonists in the movie, Rhodes definitely has the least dimension to him. Like
That's fine.
but it's okay because the guy that plays him gives an amazing
He
performance.
he reminds me of Peter in Dawn, where on paper there's not a lot to Peter. He's just the cool guy. But oh god, I knew his name until I needed to say it. What's that actor's name?
Ken Forey.
And
Ken
for it.
Forey. But Ken Forey is just so cool
Yeah.
that he makes that character cool.
Well, and like I said, to me, the people in the first two movies, particularly Dawn, feel more realistic, and these characters feel more like movie characters, which again to me isn't like better or worse. It's just a different style that he's going for.
Also,
Uh,
this is a big moment with that where she's like, no, you need rest. You need to be sedated. And he's like, no, like I have a job to do because he's been so indoctrinated by these other military guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ends up being one of the most tragic characters in the movie, and I think has a pretty satisfying ending.
Tyler says, of the trilogy, when do you think the zombies are the best? Oh, this
Thus
this
I
movie
mean,
far.
has
this one wins by like a landslide.
this movie has the greatest zombie of all time. So good that The Walking Dead sold an entire episode on. We got the guy that played Bub.
Bub is
Uh,
awesome. We'll get to him, but not just Bub. I feel like the zombie designs are just a lot better in this one.
they are. This is the blueprint for designs that everyone else follows. I don't.
Yeah,
I like
this
the
is
blue ones from Dawn. Like I think that gives it more of a personality. But these are objectively better. This is Tom Savini's masterpiece. And then
this
Noah,
is what
because
I think of when I think of zombies. This is what I see.
yeah, Noah, because you haven't seen it. At the beginning of Stranger Things season 3, all of the kids use Steve to sneak into an R-rated movie, and it's this movie.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
that's kind of a deep pull, just because nobody references Day of the Dead.
yeah, and now every time I see the opening of this movie, I think of Stranger Things because that and Stranger Things gets really awkward where they go in the theater and it just starts, and I'm like, man, that's so weird. And then I rewatch the movie, I'm like, oh wait, no, yeah, there's no
That is
production logos, there's no, it just starts.
It just
It's really jarring.
begins.
You're just in it.
uh
Although, John, to your point though, I've never given this much thought before, but with Stranger Things, I'm like, so this isn't an R-rated movie. This is an unrated,
oh yeah.
and that's a very small like movie theater in that mall that's probably not showing a lot of movies. Do you buy that that mall in Indiana is showing Day of the Dead? I'm not saying it
No,
wouldn't. I'm just asking questions.
because that's part of the documentary they talk about it. This didn't get a wide release.
Hmm.
And as somebody that lives in Indiana, when a movie doesn't get a wide release, we in Indiana don't get that movie.
Mhm.
Slasher Fred brings up the crazies. It's pretty much similar to his Night of the Living Dead movie and Escape from New York. The homeless people are referred to as the crazies. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Look, it's Walter from The Big Lebowski.
Speaking of the crazies, though, Frankenstein from this movie is also in the crazies.
I know. Well, in Joe Pilato is in Dawn of the
Dawn
Dead.
of the Dead.
I think he's
One
one of the
of the
cops
cuts.
somewhere. I never, but I need to rewatch it and look for him because I never know
So,
who he
okay.
is.
He is one of the cops when they're at the airport, and the one cop is like, "Hey, you got any smokes?" His scene is heavily cut down in the theatrical cut, but it's either the extended or the European cut. You see more of him, but he is just kind of like an extra.
Gotcha, gotcha.
It's
Also,
because that scene sticks in my head where they're like, "Where are you going? The islands? What island? Any island?"
also a fun fact: this movie came out the same month. Where it did come out, it came out the same month as Back to the Future, which is the other movie we see
Yep.
them watching in Stranger Things.
And that has one of my favorite moments in Stranger Things because no, the joke is that they're both they've been doped up by Russians and tortured, so neither of them can figure out what the hell is happening in Back to the Future because they're on truth serum.
They
That's
sneak
funny.
into the theater to hide or
Yeah,
just watch the movie.
I love the idea that in the Stranger Things universe, people are having double features of Day of the Dead and Back to the Future. Like those
Well,
were the
those are
two
different
big.
days. Also, fun fact about Joe Pilato: he also voices Harry Cooper, the bad old guy, in the Night of the Living Dead Origins 3D
no, that movie
version
has
from
a killer
2015.
cast.
It does. It's weird.
Right, fine. We'll watch the friggin' Night of the Living Dead 3D remake. We'll do a
We
whole
have to
mania of all
find
of the
it.
Night of the
Oh,
Living Dead.
it was okay. So, well, okay. So you're not too confused. This movie actually has three titles. It's Night of the Living Dead Origins 3D, also known as just Night of the Living Dead Origins. It's also known as Night of the Living Dead Darkest Dawn. So,
Yeah, because we
in
we
case you
talked
weren't
about
confused yet,
that a couple of videos ago. Well, after
Not to
this,
be
Noah, we
confused
gotta
with
watch
Night
Day
of
of
the
the.
Animated.
Well, Noah, after this, we gotta watch Day of the Dead 2, so we continue the story.
Nope.
Oh, there
Look,
he
it's Bub.
is.
He's great.
So,
And
and here we have Dr. Frankenstein, who's one of my favorite characters in the movie.
and this one
And
isn't remade as much as Night or Dawn. Well, Dawn's only been remade once, so this actually has been remade more times than Dawn. But every time we remake this movie, we that's the big thing we fuck up is Bub.
oh, really?
Yeah, because in the '08 movie, it's that thing where there is a soldier that is a part of the cast, and the big twist is, oh, he's Bub because he does something at the end of the movie that like Bub would do.
Oh, okay.
And then in 2000, and then the Bloodlines remake, he's the main character's ex, who when he becomes a zombie is just obsessed with fucking her. It's very weird.
Okay.
I can't wait to make you guys watch those.
Um, this might be a bit of a tangent, but I do find it kind of contradictory and strange that, like, despite this being arguably the most forgotten movie of the trilogy, it's the most remade and sequelized and all that.
Well, it's not
It's
the
very
most
Yeah.
strange.
remade. That's still Night.
I guess not. Yeah.
It's just been made more than Dawn, and I think that's just because the rights to Dawn are like crazy expensive.
But Dr. Frankenstein here is one of my favorite
Meanwhile, at
characters.
Tom
He's
Savini's
so good.
special effects warehouse,
No, the effects of
This
the sequence are amazing.
this guy has a bit, I think, of a John Hammond type vibe to him, where he's doing very questionable things, but
I
he's like,
I would kill for the universe where this guy gets to be John Hammond in Jurassic Park.
but do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
yeah.
he's doing very questionable things, but like the guy that plays him is like performing it with such like a earnestness and like a heart to it, like a sincerity to it.
Well, and I had this read on the last on watching it earlier. If you read this as the scientists are the creatives and the military are the soldiers, or the military or the studio,
Yeah.
Frankenstein is Romero,
Yeah.
where the studio wants him to do something because the only reason that studio made the deal for those three pictures is they wanted another zombie film from Romero. But he didn't want to make another zombie movie, so that's why he put this off, because this was the third film he made for them. So it very much is like, the soldiers want Frankenstein to do something, kill the zombies basically. But he's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna do this instead. And I think it parallels a little bit of Romero, like, no, you want me to make a zombie film, but I want to do all this other stuff.
Yeah, he has that quirky, eccentric personality.
I
And
can
he's
definitely
even
see
got like
that
the
read.
big ass glasses like Romero wears.
Yeah, that's true. And
Not
that
as
is, that
big,
is
but yeah.
that is why I think Sarah works as the protagonist, because she does seem the most like rational character in the movie. She doesn't fall into an extreme like this guy or the military guys do.
She is the straight person. But that is something that I think it shares in common with Dawn, because arguably Franny in Dawn is the logical one. She's the
Mhm.
Peter is the cynical one, Roger is the reckless one, Flyboy is there. I'm
And
sorry. Flyboy has nothing to do for like 50% of that movie.
Then he gets turned into a zombie.
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's one of the best zombie performances ever. Some of the shit that he does with his limbs. I love this radio guy. But this is the main scene where, like, oh yes, this is the metaphor, right? Where the soldiers just want results, and the military or the scientists or the creatives are like, but you're not giving me the stuff that I need to do what you want me to do.
Right.
and I think one of the reasons why this movie really didn't click with a lot of people initially is just it's such an aggressive, angry movie, which is a lot of Romero's work, but so much of this movie is just people yelling at each other, and if you're not in the right mood for that, this is not gonna hit you the right way. Dawn clicks with so many people because it has that escapist fantasy of just living out a zombie apocalypse and how
And
to
it's
survive. Like
goofy.
the logistic stuff of it is fun, and you like seeing people work together. And this movie's not about working together.
Well, and Dawn is also, a comedy at times, like the pie in the face
Mhm.
scene, or
It's much
the
more lighthearted than this.
the weird gonk music.
Which is in this movie too.
This is uh okay. That line drives me nuts. I didn't need that, okay?
The shopping mall
The
line.
shopping malls are closed. If you want to move out from the shadow of Dawn, stop mentioning Dawn.
Again, and this is where the timeline is weird because in the context of Dawn of the Dead, shopping malls are a very new thing when they talk about that in the movie, and then here we're talking about it like it's a regular thing because now we're in the 80s and we're making it like it's set in the 80s, so
Yeah.
you can't think
That's
too hard
fine.
about the continuity of these movies.
I don't think Romero cared.
No, not at all. Uh, Slasher Fred, I did you read his comment about the trailer? 'Cause I thought this was
No,
interesting.
I didn't.
He said that and I've never seen this. He said the international theatrical trailer makes it feel more like this movie's going to be a spoof because it's set in a movie theater and has a zombie eating popcorn. I want to
Oh,
watch that trailer.
they used part of that in that documentary, and I didn't know what the hell it was.
That's all. That reminds me of a. Have you ever seen that Evil Dead 2 trailer where it's
I'm
Sam
gonna like
Raimi in a
scare the
movie
hell
theater?
out of you or
Yeah.
something like that.
No, that's
Yes,
Stephen King.
that's Stephen King, John.
Oh no, I've seen that though. He says something similar.
He's in a movie theater eating popcorn while he's watching it.
One thing that I am curious about with this movie is because the way it plays it is like this all really starts to degrade when Rhodes takes over
Yes.
because he's not willing to play ball. But what was the previous guy like? Yeah, see this moment where he's like, shoot that woman or I'm gonna kill you, and he's like, oh. Uh Bath Time, huge fan of the film. Yeah, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, we love this movie.
It's the 40th anniversary.
The thick soldier reminds me of Bubba Ray Dudley. Oh, I can kind of see that. I'm the only one here that's gonna get that reference. It's fine.
So, the helicopter pilot, not Ken Foray here. Rewatching this movie, when he was talking, I was like, okay, is he French or is he Cajun or is he Jamaican? And then he says enough. I'm like, okay, he's supposed to be Jamaican.
Yeah.
Well, and they interview him, and it's funny because obviously I kind of figured maybe he wasn't actually Jamaican,
Oh,
but that accent is what got him the job.
that's so funny. I feel like that accent's only there because Romero's like, fuck, I need to make this guy different from Ken Foray in the last one. He's Jamaican. Fuck.
Jamaican. Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Batson, being my greatest '80s film. Yeah, dude, I love RoboCop.
Also,
Uh,
I'll just say though, as bleak as this movie is, I feel like it is still kind of a comedy. Like
There's still
I
humor in it.
Rhodes is funny. Like
I don't
Well,
know if
okay.
Rhodes is funny or just like in the '80s if he's funny, or if it's just we're looking at this in 2025.
See, I don't know how much of it is intentional, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's so over the top that it's a Rorschach test for the audience. Like, you're either gonna find him insufferable or hilarious or both. Like, you're either gonna love to hate him or just be annoyed, and either reaction's totally valid. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think it works for the movie. You know, he's meant to be completely despicable,
Okay,
and I
so
like how far he goes.
Bad Time said, "Do you have any other interpretation of this other than the commercialism?" Yeah, we kind of talked about. They mentioned this in the documentary, and then I could kind of see where it was coming from. Is where the soldiers are like the studio and the producers, and the scientists are more of the creative types. Like Frankenstein is kind of a stand-in for Romero, in that he's being forced to do the soldiers want him to do something, or the studio wants Romero to do something, but that's not what he wants to do. He wants to do this other thing. And so like he's clashing with the studio, or Frankenstein is clashing with the soldiers. There it is.
There it
He
is.
said the thing. I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my
My
time.
time.
No,
An
because
iconic
he's
gift of the
unhinged,
ages.
but it's not. I don't think it's goofy. Like, it's entertaining because this actor is just so good. But it's like, oh, this guy is like has a very short
Yeah.
fuse. Like, the slightest thing is gonna set him off.
I
Well, it's
also
like
think
we were just talking about how Dawn is about humanity working together during the apocalypse. This is about humanity falling apart.
Well, and even
So,
Dawn has a lot of humanity falling apart because like
yeah, well, and
our
it's on. It
four main
doesn't last. Yeah.
characters, four main characters are working together. But like even when they're just watching the TV, it's like nobody can settle on what to do.
but this is that idea taken to it, its
Well,
furthest edge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you have the biker gang at the end of 2, led by Tom Savini, who fuck everything up, and it's like Romero's idea was, okay, what if we made like those characters, like the whole movie revolve around them? Not literally, because in this case they're the military, but still, it's kind of the same vibe he's going for.
Well, and what's interesting is because I'm thinking about this now. In both remakes, they don't do a Rhodes, and also neither of them take place mostly in a military bunker. The 2008 one has that annoying like, oh, the third act is in the military bunker because remember Day of the Dead. I think it is one of the first apocalyptic films apart from the British cozy apocalypse genre where there's moments of them actually enjoying their situation. I'm assuming he's
Yeah,
talking about Dawn. Yeah.
that's the stuff I really love in Dawn. And there's also a lot to dissect with the setting of each film. The first one is classic Americana, it's the farmhouse and the in the middle of nature. The second one is the over commercialized shopping mall, and then this one's a military bunker. They're all drastically different settings that are all very American.
And what I love
in
about the
different
military
ways.
bunker and what really makes this movie for me is this is the most claustrophobic of the three. Yeah, and Beth added that's for Dawn. Yeah. No, that's what I like about Dawn is for the most of that movie, they're just having fun.
Mhm.
And you really feel that claustrophobia in the third act when the zombies flood in. And
Oh,
that's maybe like
and
the most effective zombie
the
attack scene in the trilogy.
the way the zombies get in to me is the most unsettling thing in all three movies.
No, yeah, like watching it again this time, I was like, oh fuck, they're fucked.
Bath Time says like British apocalypse stuff is like Triffids and stuff and involves rural communities. Easy for me to say. Oh, interesting. The only British stuff that I know that's apocalyptic is like Shaun of the Dead, 28 Days Later,
Anna and the Apocalypse.
and in the Apocalypse, which is peak.
Well, there's also alien invasion stuff. I think War of the Worlds was that a
Yes,
British book? Okay.
that is, yes.
I don't know much about that.
And we were talking about posters earlier. Good time to get into this, but of course I've got my Scream Factory Blu-ray with John Haz, which he thinks is a superior artwork.
I think that is the superior artwork.
I like that Bub's the
Yeah.
central focus.
Because Noah,
great image.
I forgot to respond to you. Yes, that is the poster I'm thinking of. I don't like that poster. I
You
think
don't like that one?
It looks real cheap.
I love it.
Enough. I think it's a taste. It's a taste thing with me, but I like posters that are more minimalist.
There's something very kitschy about it.
Yeah,
I think if the zombie face was drawn better, I'd like that more because I like it in theory. I think, or just leave the face off.
I'll give you face off. I'll give you the face as a criticism there, but I like the approach.
Yeah, it's going for that Dawn of the Dead poster vibe, which I do think is a better poster and also very minimalist. This face isn't great, but I've always liked the first there was Night of the Living Dead and then Dawn of the Dead. I like the
And then he
trilogy
ruined it with Land.
format too. He did ruin it with Land. Yeah.
But I
Where's
mean, I
Dusk
like
of the
that
Dead?
movie. No, I remember for years there was rumors of like a Twilight of the Dead or a Dusk of the Dead. Okay, let me catch up on chat. We thought this film has something of the end of Nazis to it, experiments, a bunker, soldiers, and a deserved and glorious ending. Shaun of the
Interesting.
Dead
Yeah, I
has a
can
lot
see
of
that.
elements of the cozy apocalypse because they aim to weather drinking in the pub and having a pint. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sean doesn't
you have to
really
wait
take
for
that
the
stuff
whole thing.
seriously until it gets close to home.
Yeah,
And I think in Shaun of the Dead, you could see pieces of all three of these movies
I
in
mean,
that.
they're not subtle about it, Robert.
Right.
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
But I also think in discourse about that movie, people are always referencing the first two, like the Night of the Living Dead and all that stuff. But there's plenty of Day of the Dead in it too.
Wait, are there people that don't like Shaun of the Dead?
No, I was saying like in discourse around it, people are always talking about it in
Well,
relation
but
to the first
discourse,
couple.
I don't know. I guess discourse just makes it sound like people saying like arguing about if
Oh,
it's good or not.
no, just like the
oh no,
general like,
discussion. Yeah,
yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
the first shot we see of Sean in that movie is him doing a bub impression. Like, come on.
yep. Well, and one of the big deaths in this movie is replicated in Shaun of the Dead,
Yep.
with the guy getting ripped apart. That's right out of this movie. I'm
And
just saying that when that movie comes out, I think this one is still kind of looked down on as the weakest of the three, and people are
oh,
only talking about
absolutely,
the first two.
and that's why
absolutely.
Shaun of the Dead is the best zombie movie because it's got elements of all three of these.
No,
That's great.
Yes,
it is a really good zombie movie. It's not better than any of the Romero trilogy.
it's my favorite zombie movie.
That's someone knows Land, the one with the fireworks. Yes, I like that movie. It is a huge step down, but I still think it's pretty solid. It's an entertaining flick.
And John, remind me, does Land get greenlit because of Shaun of the Dead, or because I know it comes out after?
No, because I mean maybe, but it's only a year later, if even a full year.
Yeah, but I mean, with horror movies, that's not
The
unusual.
only connection between them that I know of is just that Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg are in Land
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
George Romero loved Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I think Romero was developing it for a long time, but it maybe wasn't that film. Maybe 28 Days Later and other stuff going on that got studios
I feel like
interested
it
in.
was
Oh,
probably
let's do
28
this again.
days.
Yeah.
Bath Time
Oh my
says, yeah,
god.
it's the Alien 3 of their trilogy. A lot of interesting stuff, but poor execution and interference. Are you talking about Land? He says, I like Land of the Dead. I think it's always good to see some additions to the lore. That makes sense, like fireworks. Not so sure about the gas zombie. Oh, see, I think the gas station zombie is just a like building on what he's doing with Bub here. Yeah, so like this piece of score right here is very Dawn of the Dead,
Mhm.
which is interesting because Dawn of the Dead sounds the way it does because of Dario Argento. If from memory, introduces Romero to Goblin because Goblin works a lot with Argento.
That makes a
Okay,
lot of
Bath Time
sense.
says Day equals Alien 3.
Yeah, I don't
I
have that.
guess.
I,
I,
I think this is a much more cohesive,
yeah, this is much more
pure
cohesive.
film
And
than
maybe
that
it's just
is.
because I think Alien 3 sucks, and this doesn't.
I like them both.
I think with this film, with its scope and what it's doing, this is the one I actually wish was a little longer. And Dawn of the Dead isn't a short movie by any means. I think that one's over 2 hours.
I think
Uh,
that's the
I, I
longest.
Are you talking
I
about
wish
the?
this
I
was
assume you're
closer.
just talking about the theatrical cut.
Yeah. But I wish this was closer to that length. I wish we got a little more downtime like this sequence. And they throw you into it very quickly with the yelling and escalating the situation, which is important for the story, but I could use a little more downtime like this with
Yeah,
these
but I mean
characters.
that's how all three of these start. Like Night
Mhm.
has very little to no downtime. Dawn, you're just thrown into the middle of that TV station.
Yeah, but a lot of that movie is just in the mall, which I think is the most
And a lot
interesting
of this
stuff.
movie is in the military bunker, which is the best part of the movie.
But the military bunker is way more chaotic than the mall.
Yeah.
That's fair. I do like this little speech he's about to have, even though it is just kind of regurgitating the theme of the movie.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. That's what I said earlier. I feel like this one more than the previous two is Romero really using these characters to get out his ideas, which
Yeah.
isn't a bad thing by any means. And then to some, arguably, he maybe goes too far with in his later zombie
So
movies. At least if so said.
so Dawn is 2 hours and 7 minutes, and this movie is an hour and 40 or an hour and 43. So yeah, I mean maybe I don't know. I if I saw a longer cut, then I would be able to compare it better. Just I think the movie's perfect, so I don't really have that, but maybe a longer cut would be better. I don't know. Oh, Bath Time likes Alien 3. No, you're not alone.
Yay! I know I'm
Have
not
you
alone. Plenty of
guys
people like Alien 3.
have you guys seen Diary of the Dead?
No. Is that the found footage one?
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I
Oh.
haven't seen any of those start to finish. I've seen a lot of Land, but
Oh, you haven't
all
even
three of
seen
those movies.
Land.
No, I need to see all of them start to
Okay.
finish.
You don't need to see Land.
Noah, shut up.
Who cares?
Land is good.
It's okay. It's
Dude, it's
fine.
Dennis Hopper. Come on.
Yeah. I'd rather watch him in a better movie.
Land of the
No.
Dead is good. You're just wrong.
It's okay. It's fine.
Beth, I just realized you guys are all watching it live. I just thought the countdown was some existential nightmare. I have seen Diary of the Dead. Yeah, Diary of the Dead is not great, but that gives me something I might make them watch soon. Yeah, this is just a live commentary. If you want to watch it along with us, that is the runtime that we are at currently.
I've heard with Dire of the Dead that runs into a lot of issues of Romero doesn't understand found footage movies and how they work.
I mean, the Red Letter Media bit on that is the greatest thing. What's a tweet?
What's a zombie tweet? Okay, sit down, George. Maybe.
And did you guys know about like the last movie that he was working on before he died?
I don't
No.
remember.
What is that? There's that movie. We just remade it where they're like racing, or we remade it about late 2010, late 2000s. And then the remake, they're like in prison and have to race cars for people's entertainment. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No. Not off the
Oh,
top of
Death
my head.
Race. Death Race.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh.
I've
It was
heard
gonna
of
be
that.
kind of like that, where people made zombies drive cars for their entertainment.
All right. Yeah, I'm sad that we were robbed of that. That sounds amazing.
Rumor has it his son might be finishing it, but I haven't heard anything in like 10 years.
He better. I want to see
Uh,
that. I want to see zombies driving cars.
That time says one of the best parts of the remake of Dawn I felt was the found footage stuff right at the end. Felt like a concept. Yeah, no, I mean it's all right. I like that remake. It's one of the best remakes.
It's Zack Snyder's best movie.
Yeah, I think Jason Statham is in it.
Yeah, and we have Dawn of the Dead on the wheel, right, for our
Of course.
original
I mean, we
animated
had this
series,
on the
right?
wheel too. You just got impatient.
I did because it's the anniversary. I also
Oh.
couldn't even remember. I was like, wait, did have we done a commentary on Dawn yet? No, we just did commentary on Night in its
Yeah.
remake. But it's because we talk about Dawn of the Dead so much, I can't remember if we've actually done a video or commentary.
Because it's a great movie, yeah. Also, John, I love how much shit you give Robert for like pushing to do this when like
I
we
know.
all like this movie. like
Yeah, I know. But now, how am I going to make you guys watch the remake
Oh, it's still on the wheel.
Find
We
another
can still do
excuse.
it.
when we land on that? We'll just have to do both remakes.
Exactly.
That's when Noah quits.
Oh yeah, I'm already writing my resignation letter.
Is
Bath
this
time.
guy still talking?
Have you seen The Girl with All the Gifts? Very similar to a Last of Us zombie film and very enjoyable. No, but that's been recommended to me like a bazillion times. I just need to sit down and actually watch it because Robert and I love The Last of Us. We've done playthroughs of both games, and we'll probably do another one when we make Noah watch The Last of Us Part 2.
And yeah, I've heard of that title, but I actually don't really know anything about it. So it's interesting.
I have no idea what it's actually about. Just every time zombies come up, people are like, "Have you seen The Girl with All the Gifts?" You all right, Noah?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry.
You don't need to apologize. Just want to make sure you're okay.
No, you're
Sorry
not.
for, I'm sorry
Not
for
yet.
distracting you in the stream.
That is the smoothest like drink from one of those water machines I've ever seen. I remember having to use those in school. It was miserable.
They look disgusting.
Probably is disgusting this far into an apocalypse.
Right?
Bath Time says I wrote a video on the Last of Us Part 2 ending that did really well, and I've never received so much. Yeah, that game
Oh.
is a hot. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That game is a hot button.
Oh yeah, just like everything is now.
I mean, you can go watch
I
our reviews of the second season. That was World War V.
They are us.
There was something I've seen recently that mentions this scene too. Where they say like it's your Aunt Alicia, but I can't remember what it was now.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is this movie, just because I've seen it recently. It's your Aunt Alicia.
Also, I hate googling this movie because if I forget to specify, then I just get the holiday.
I always,
Yeah,
yeah, I always forget that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of surprised this doesn't do anything with that title.
Yeah. Bat Time
I mean,
says The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece. The second season of the TV show is a
here it
comedy.
is.
I am right there with you, my guy. Of
you liked most of the episodes. I liked it.
course you
We
did.
just heard the reprise of the Goblin music
Mhm.
in
Oh,
Dawn of the
okay.
Dead.
But it is a little different. Like it's not exactly
It's
the same.
slower. Yeah.
The scientist, Frankenstein, is just a happy guy. He's just doing what he loves. That's why we
I
like
think
him.
you're right, Robert, though. There's too much talking in this movie.
Um,
I'm really bored right now.
Oh.
Who made this? Mike Flanagan?
Is Bub gonna get a monologue?
Bub's like, when I was a
oh,
boy.
and I didn't realize this. Another Dawn Day reference in Shaun of the Dead is the shop next to Nelson's supermarket is called Bub's Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look.
There's Salem's Lot. Robert's favorite movie.
Oh, is that because Romero almost makes Salem's Lot, right? So is that like an in joke?
Oh,
I
maybe.
mean, maybe because I just read it as like, oh, he's friends with Stephen King, because like Creepshow has happened at this point.
I just kind of took it as, oh, and it's a shout out to another horror artist out there.
Bath Time says if you want zombie recommendations, there's one you might not know called Dead Set. It was made like 15 years ago by the creator of Black Mirror, and it's set in the UK. Big Brother house. It's all on YouTube. Oh, we'll have to look into it.
Yeah, that's definitely an in joke though, because remember I have that print of Salem's Lot that on the back. We talked about this in a video. Like soon to be a major motion picture from George A. Romero.
That's not Salem's
So
Lot. That
Yeah.
was The Stand, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was Salem's Lot. Or you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it was The Stand, but okay, maybe it was The Stand, but Salem's Lot he also almost did
Okay.
a
Yeah, I
movie
mean,
of. So
maybe.
yeah, so that is weird that Romero was attached to so many King projects that didn't materialize for some
Yeah,
reason.
and I
Hey,
mean,
I
I
mean, he
don't.
was one of the big horror directors at the time. Stephen King's obviously the biggest horror writer. It makes sense.
Mhm. I mean, they did collaborate. Creep
They
show.
did collaborate, yeah, which I still need to see.
I can't find it now. I do at some point, and this is purely self-indulgent. Wanna do something on that Day of the Dead show that lasted one season,
I keep
and
forgetting that exists.
I
I have
think I've
never seen anything from that show other than a poster. I don't
Dude,
know
so
who's in it. I don't know what the show looks like.
we could do
okay.
a whole Day of the Dead channel, honestly.
So I saw a trailer because they dropped the trailer the same day as the Chucky trailer, like because those shows air at the like debut at the same time. But I'm curious because that Day of the Dead show is so weird. They made a sitcom out of it. It lasted
Mhm.
one season, and then as far as I know, it's never been officially canceled. They just stopped talking about it and stopped making it. I guess they hoped people would forget about it.
John's like, I never forgot.
I haven't
I,
forgotten. Bath Time says the maddest thing I've seen this week is that Ice Cube is in a remake of War of the Worlds on Amazon Prime out next. What?
I saw the
hell
thumbnail
yeah.
for that and I was like, "What?" I didn't watch it. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but yeah, I was very surprised.
I might watch that. I'm curious.
I'm gonna have to watch that immediately.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Robert,
make
say
sure
hello
that
to your
that's
Aunt
the
Alicia.
first. I'm gonna make sure that that's the first screen adaptation of War of the Worlds I'll watch.
That would all. If I watch that, that'll also be the first one that I watch because I don't think I've seen the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the movies. I've just read the books and the
I
book
also
and
haven't read the book.
Oh no, no, you need to see the '50s one.
I
Well,
do. I own it, so I need to watch
Noah,
it.
we've both seen Scary Movie 4, which is an adaptation of War of the Worlds, as we all
Oh,
know.
true. Yeah. Oh, that is pretty pathetic that I've seen that before the other ones.
So
Uh,
this is maybe my favorite scene of the movie. All the performances here are just so perfect for something so goofy, but they play it completely straight.
yeah, no, if you make this movie now, people will be like, well, that just happened. Um, oh, okay, so they say it's kind of found footage. He watches it all in one room, and the aliens are here to nick our data. That
Oof.
sounds
To
cringy.
yeah.
But, no, I in this scene I love the contrast between Dr. Frankenstein here and Rhodes, where the scientist is so enthusiastic and endeared to Bub. He sees him like a son, and Joe Pilato really sells the pure disgust and like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like this is so wrong, and it's to him
They're fucking dead, and you want to teach them
inhuman.
tricks?
Yep, and like
So
in hindsight, you probably shouldn't ask Joe Pilato to salute this zombie because he finds that so extremely offensive to
yeah,
even entertain that.
Well,
yeah.
and I think this is where Frankenstein has the big thing. It's like, well, the time to exterminate them was when this first started, or no, that's his introductory scene because he's like they outnumber us like 400,000 to one.
Mhm. So, but what do you guys think? Could what Frankenstein's trying to achieve here have worked?
No, because it's taken him this long to train one zombie. There
Yeah,
are thousands of them, hundreds of thousands of them.
yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, the answer is there is no answer at this point. There's too many of them.
This is a new world we are living in, a new species we got to figure out how to deal with.
Yeah.
It's like Jurassic World. It's the same quality.
They're alive.
They're
Like me.
like me. And
Yeah, but it's like the fact that it's taken him so long to get Bub to where he is, and the fact that the zombies win in the end. It really is just like a bleak outlook on all of that by the end.
Bath says that the best depiction of Frankenstein is in the Monster Squad. Can't believe that's not been remade. It's so cool. That should never be remade. They'll ruin it.
and that's Tom Newton.
That is something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta watch that again. I've only seen it once.
He's a good Frankenstein monster.
I gotta watch it again, but I mean, I think my favorite is still. So, okay, this is something that feels so. I don't know how to describe it. I'm so used to this now. It's crazy to me that this idea didn't come up till the third movie of cutting off the limb that's been bitten before the infection spreads. The Walking Dead like wrote the Bible on how to not do this. Every time
Like
somebody
literally
gets bitten at, they're like, "Well, you got to chop it off."
Yeah,
This guy that gets shot right here, that's Greg Nicotero, right?
No, I think Greg gets scared. You know how one of those soldiers got shot in the chest on accident? I think that was Greg Nicotero because
Okay.
he's got longer hair and a fuller beard.
So,
Okay.
Savini went into big detail about this effect, and it's kind of that Friday thing where it's two different effects to make it look real. So here in a second, she's gonna bring the machete down, and it's like you would think it's a machete that has like the curve, so that it looks like it's in his arm. And
Yeah.
then once the arm is separated, they switch it with a prosthetic arm and a real machete, so that it looks like the machete is real. Because and that's very Friday the 13th. Because no, I think we've talked about this. He talks
Yeah.
about in Friday the 13th with the big axe kill is it's a fake axe on the way back down, but on the way up it's a real axe so that the audience can see it hit the light and they know, oh, it's
Yeah.
real. And
And
then when it connects, it's the fake one. Same principle here of it's fake when it connects, but then when it has to be removed, it's real and it looks real.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
love hearing
whole
about that stuff.
gag.
Movie magic
That,
right there.
well, and the
Yeah.
first two movies were made so on the cheap. Like I like the charm that the zombies in Dawn have, but but they're all just blue because that's all I got. And there's a couple of scenes in the beginning and the end where you can tell that's where they spend all of their effects budget, where it's like, okay, go wild with the gore. This movie costs substantially more than the last, and you could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that money's on screen.
And it should be noted, like this was profitable when it came out. Like it did fine. It's just not nearly as profitable as the first two were. So I get why this
Well,
is
and
a like.
Romero also talks about it didn't get a very good ad campaign. Like they really skimped out on the marketing budget.
Yeah,
It didn't get a wide release, I don't think.
yeah. So for context, Dawn of the Dead was made for under $1 million, and it made like 60 million. And then this movie was made for $4 million, and it made. Uh, so this movie cost $4 million and made 34 million. So that's a pretty big profit, but not nearly as much as what the previous one had done.
You know, I don't care if he's just a mix of Flyboy and Peter from Dawn. The pilot in this is so cool. We're
I
beginning
do
to make
like
a habit of this.
he's a likable character. And this death, on rewatch, I was like, oh, this is maybe the most shocking death of the movie when Joe Pilato just shoots that other scientist guy in the head. Like it's a really shocking moment.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here though.
It's coming up.
No, because that doesn't happen until he finds out what Frankenstein's been doing, what he's been
Right,
feeding
yeah, yeah.
Bub.
Look, a lot of this movie is just these people yelling at each other.
I'm running this
Underground.
monkey farm now, Robert. I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time. No, because I think what works about the over the top is with Rhodes is that he's not always over the top. Like here, he's very quiet and menacing.
hmm No, this scene's great, but every time you see the guy on the ground just twitching, I'm like, oh, he's fucking dying. Like, you gotta wrap that up or something. Like, it's just like,
We're losing him, Doc.
I'm just shocked he survives for as long as he does. It might have made it if it wasn't for his self-sacrifice. I think chopping off his arm actually worked.
That's the big issue, right? Is because I don't know how much time is passing down here. And in these movies, it takes a while before you turn.
hmm Yeah, the Romero zombies are a much slower process where it's not like you die and then you're a zombie. It's more of a like you do die, but it is more of a transformation to it with the illness and kind of deteriorating
Which
before
Kirkman
you
does a
completely
little
switch.
bit. You
Mhm.
arguably suffer more in The Walking Dead when you're
Yeah,
bitten.
it's rough. And one thing that's fun about that show too, with Greg Nicotero doing the effects, is he does a lot of callbacks to these movies with zombies throughout that show. There's that famous scene earlier of the zombie like flipping over and all this guts spilling out when he's
Yeah.
on the slab. We recreate that scene in an episode of The
Of course
Walking
they
Dead
do.
season 4. So, and there's one zombie I think with the tongue sticking out. They do that all throughout that show. Yeah, those are some fun Easter eggs.
But they couldn't get Romero.
Nope.
No, Noah, do you know about that?
No, I know that he at one point was going to direct the Resident Evil movie, but
So
they didn't
this just
go through
lives like
that.
rent free in my mind. I guess they asked him to do an episode, and he's like, "No, I don't do soap operas."
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did know about that. I forgot. That's funny. That's the two biggest horror miss opportunities. Is Romero should have directed Resident Evil, and he should have worked on The Walking Dead.
Yep.
No matter who worked on that show, as soon as AMC slashed the budget, it was fucked.
Well, yeah, that
Yeah.
shouldn't have happened. But
Yeah, there's a lot of issues
Because
that show have,
honestly, they
and a lot
picked
of
the
good stuff.
perfect showrunner in Darabont, but then they fucked him over too.
yep.
Mhm.
And
No,
which
because
is
it's really
why,
funny if you watch after season 2, because they fire him in between seasons, I think, if memory serves.
yeah,
But the problem is that he brought all of his friends on to play major characters,
they're
and
like,
then when
screw
he's
this, I'm out of
fired,
here.
they all went out. So one by one, all of the major characters leave.
I mean, only
Yeah,
a couple. Uh, but yeah, I
Dale
think
Dale leaves next season.
he's a notable one. I think Romero, not Romero. I think Darabont films the premiere of 2 and is like fired during that, and then they end up scrapping most of his stuff. I think that's how it went down.
And I will maintain that season 1 is the best season of that show.
That's good.
No, I was like, it's the only one I've seen, therefore it is the best one.
I've
Well,
seen up here like 6 or something.
No, it is
no,
the best season of the show.
no, the first half of 2 is rough and very slow, and where a lot of the problems are. But the second half of 2, I think, really picks up, and it's some of my favorite episodes.
Isn't
That
the
whole show
second
is a mixed
half?
bag.
Isn't the second half of 2 where they just stay on the farm looking for that little girl and then they reveal she's in a
That's the first
fucking.
half.
That's the first half.
Okay. What the hell is the second half?
Well, they're
It's been a
still on the
minute.
farm, but it's like Shane's deterioration.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All
That's
the
like the
Shane stuff
one
on the
thing that
show's
show
great.
does better.
No, I disagree.
Yeah.
There's lots of characters I prefer in the show over the comic.
And
Like I said,
I'm not a big fan of Shane in that show anyway, but whatever.
because you hate John Bernthal for some reason.
No. I love him as Punisher.
Like I said before, that whole show is a mixed bag for me. It's highs and lows, but there's a lot of good stuff in
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
That guy has a tape recorder, but I don't believe people are still making batteries.
I also don't believe I mean, there's some technology in this movie. They probably had not the exact model, but with the first movie, like some of the technology is a bit inconsistent.
Do you feel like this is? I mean, this works great as a reveal, but do you feel like this feels like a side of the movie that's really cut down? This reveal of, oh, he's like fucking. I think that's Greg Nicotero's face.
Okay, yeah.
But of the scientist, like on the tape recorder, it's like, oh, he's fucking insane. Do you feel like there was more going on with that may have been cut out?
Romero says on that documentary that this cut is the movie he wanted to make.
Okay.
But I can see where you're coming from. If I'm looking at it objectively, that needs to be like seated somewhere. I never get the sense that he's crazy. He's more he's Frankenstein. He doesn't care about the morality, he cares about the science.
Yeah, cares about the
Yeah.
discovery. But this whole angle of him like talking to his mother and having this whole thing going on, like that never comes up again because he's gonna die in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it works.
And like you guys were saying earlier, I feel like on paper this is a much more morally gray, fucked up, weird character. But it's the performance this actor gives that's so endearing and likable. You're like, I don't know, I like
Yeah,
watching him do stuff. I hang
it's
out
like
with this
John
guy.
Hammond.
Yeah, exactly.
Bub's got a Walkman. I don't think Walkmans existed during Night of the Living Dead, but whatever.
Nope.
Although we keep talking about this trilogy like they're all connected, they could just very well be standalone.
I they're they're a trilogy, but I don't think Romero was making any of them going, well, technology cut off in the 60s or you know,
Yeah, he doesn't care about the details.
Well, I don't even
It's
mean that. Like, I don't even think there is a strong, like, any continuity between all three, arguably.
it's all thematic stuff. Like you can
Yeah,
see the evolution of the zombies and the downfall of humanity throughout all three.
that's the main through line is night is the start of the outbreak. Dawn is okay, it's out there, it's spreading, but we're still kind of dealing with it and managing it, and then it's full apocalypse
yeah,
territory. So there is that progression. It's it's like on the spectrum of like the Mad Max trilogy to like the Cornetto trilogy, which is entirely thematic and standalone movies. This is somewhere
yeah.
closer to Mad Max. Right? So they're kind of connected.
And I mean, really, the only things that makes it not this possible to be the same world is small stuff like that, like the technology.
It just the timeline. Because even Dawn, for a movie being made 10 years later, it feels like it's set right after the first one. Like it feels like this just happened.
Yeah.
Well, and there was a book written a few years ago, Empire of the Dead, and it's a guy finishing a Romero transcript, and he writes that book as if all of the movies are connected. It's very interesting.
I guess it's you could read it either way. You
Yeah,
could
because I mean, if you
headcanon
want to
it.
look at it as like all three are connected, then the technology stuff is just movie logic. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I even though each film is a strong social commentary on the decade it's made, he's still not that overt in when they're supposed to be set. He's still trying to make each one a little timeless to a degree. Um,
so
and all the actors in the scene really sell just the horror and disgust by what's
Yeah.
going on. Like,
Um,
oh,
Tyler asks us what's our favorite aspects of zombie stories. The zombies.
they're more human than the people, which is
Yeah.
Romero's main take. It's like that really starts with Dawn, and then he just goes further with that in this one. Where in Dawn, his idea is the zombies aren't monsters; like they're just the more pure version of us, or what we're becoming, of just these, like, we can't think for ourselves, we're aimless and
Yeah.
just walking around.
Which is
And then in this
obviously
one,
really like hammered home just with the imagery of zombies walking through a shopping mall.
mhm. And then in this movie, he seems to sympathize with the zombies more than the people, because
Yeah,
Bub is like the most likable, endearing character in this movie,
Bub
besides
is the
Sarah.
hero.
Yeah, he is.
Besides this guy who sacrifices himself.
Mhm.
No, I mean to answer seriously, I would say more than the zombies themselves. My favorite aspect is just that the zombies are used as a tool to examine humanity,
Yeah,
like
it's,
we were
my
just
I like
talking about.
the characters coming together and like surviving, because usually in a zombie story you have to really make the characters memorable in some way because you're wanting them to survive.
Well, and for me, it's not just the wish fulfillment thing that a lot of people have. Like, a lot of people think, like, oh, I'd totally be a survivalist. I'd do great. And I'm like, nah, you probably wouldn't. But with Dawn of the Dead specifically, one thing I really love about that film is just the fantasy of, like, oh, what if you had a whole shopping mall to yourself? And it's
Yeah,
that's a movie that makes just working on shit really fun to watch. Just the figuring out the logistics of, like, okay, how do we board this up? How do we live here? How do we clear it out? Like, that's the fun stuff. Like, it's just really engaging. Um, Even though I know if this ever happens, I'm gonna die in 2 seconds.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not going to work out.
If you don't find a diverse, cool group of people to hang out with,
Yeah,
you're fucked.
you're fucked. I mean, even they were fucked in the movie.
Mm. That's the one thing I've always cried
There's
foul
the
on.
death.
That's a really shocking moment. I've talked
Mhm.
about this with John before, how in Dawn of the Dead, it totally works thematically and what the movie's going for. If I'm in that situation, I'm not bored after 6 months. I'm like, fuck you, you all can leave. I am staying
Um,
in the shopping mall.
I need you two to take over. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Um, this music is very 80s right here.
Flyboy, but that's a different guy.
I know.
And I think on first viewing, one of my issues was, oh, they all just leave in a helicopter again. Couldn't come up with anything else different. Like, it doesn't bother me now. It's just an
Yeah.
observation where it's like, oh yeah, I don't know what the correct ending of this movie is. I think the ending is
Okay.
fine. I think the first two have better endings. That's my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So that's one of the things you meant earlier, where it's kind of too similar to Dawn in some ways.
Our core group of, like, heroes are very similar to the two or three from the last movie. By the time you get to the end of this, obviously the scientists are very different characters, and Joe Pilato's a very different character.
Yeah.
But with our hero survivors, it's like, oh, it's a lot like the group in the last movie.
Okay. I think what made me notice that those similarities less is because we do get more focus on the scientist characters in this,
Mhm.
and then these guys just kind of like they're there, but then they kind of just come back at the end to save the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think just because I didn't watch these back to back, I only watched this in preparation for the stream we were doing tonight. I didn't even think about how both of these movies ended in them going up in the helicopter. So
Well, I know. I mean, you like Alien 3. I know you like nihilistic
yeah,
endings. I feel like this movie should end with everyone dying. I feel
it
like it
could
should
yeah,
be more
it
like the
could have
first one.
set itself apart from the second one.
I just think Robert would eat Noah in general. He doesn't need an excuse.
Yeah.
We were talking about that.
I wasn't here.
I do like the idea though that Robert would only eat me if we were in the scenario of being stuck in a haunted house and not in a zombie apocalypse.
Well, it's the rational one. I'm just being realistic here.
Oh, okay. You're thinking of rations, so you wouldn't eat all of me in the zombie apocalypse because you're thinking about rationing all of You gotta space it
Oh
out.
yeah, exactly.
Also, because Robert, I know you normally hate it when we stop at commentary during the credits. The minute the movie ends, we're gonna have to call it because I need to go do something before we jump into our next thing.
Okay. I should have mentioned earlier, but because it's getting so late, I think I'm gonna have to leave after the movie.
No.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, fine now, Frankenstein. I don't know what the fuck you're doing with my time.
I like how Noah's like it's late, but it's like 10.
That's late for me in my schedule. And I keep reminding you that I work early.
I know, I just don't listen.
Oh, you never listen to me, John.
Yeah, just fuck you.
Oh my god. I love how ghoulish the zombies look in the sequence. This has some
It's a great
strong
sequence. When they
EC
talked
Comics
about
vibes.
one of the things they talked about with this setting is what a bitch these tunnels were to light. So, Robert, do you remember when we knew how to light things and like you could see what was happening?
Yeah, that might be my favorite kill of the movie. The
The
shovel in the
shovel.
mouth,
It's so good.
decapitation. It's such a good
Mine
effect.
mine is Rhodes. It's so satisfying. But also now that I know about that scene, I feel really bad for that actor. We'll get there.
Okay, yeah. So you posted a documentary. I saw. I'm gonna have to watch that at some point
Yeah, it's pretty good.
because I want to know how they did some of these effects.
Two guns, bitch.
My God.
What have we become? Are we the monsters?
We are the Day of the
Art.
Dead.
Yeah.
Tyler says, well, to be fair to Robert, you would be infected in a zombie world, but you wouldn't have to worry in a haunted house.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I still don't follow, but whatever.
I have no idea. I came in late.
No, we're just talking about the haunted house thing again.
So I maintain this is one of the most disturbing deaths, not only in this trilogy, but in movies. This guy is going to let himself get eaten. And I think there's just something about like him willingly doing that that is more disturbing than anything else in this movie.
It's really fucked up.
So we're not at the most disturbing death for me yet, which I think you guys might have an idea of what that is, but I'll point it out when we get there.
What I also
There's a
like
lot of them.
about this movie is it's structured in a very old-fashioned way, where the first two-thirds are the build-up, the talking, the setting of the scenes, character stuff, and then the third act is just gore, lots and
Yep,
lots
so much.
of gore.
Well, in each movie in the trilogy has that. There's just an escalation.
Yeah.
I love the way the sequence is lit. I love the blue and the red. We were talking about Creepshow earlier, and
It's
this
a
looks
very
very
creep show.
Creepshow. It's really cool.
I can see that. I can see that like EC Comics influence you mentioned a second ago. He
Did
just
he
wants a
just
hug.
did he just go? "Humph."
The subtitle said barks.
I can't believe Rowan Atkinson just hit that guy with a shovel.
I can see the cinema
Damn.
sins. Everyone in this movie is a crack shot. Ding. Fuck
Who
off.
cares?
Oh no, look out behind you. And it shouldn't surprise me because I know how gory this movie is. But rewatching this, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way this was R. Like this was totally unrated, and it was because, God,
Good God, Jesus.
holy Jesus,
Um,
goddamn.
I do like how, and Dawn does this too, but I like how they bring back the zombies that are like easily distinguishable. Like you got the football zombie here.
There's a
Yeah,
guy in a graduation gown. He's still got the hat.
yeah,
I saw a lady in a wedding dress. I saw the football one.
yeah. I love that.
No, this sacrifice is really hard to watch. Yeah, and this is what we were saying, John. Like, it's not a couple things this guy says. Like, he is a racist.
He keeps
He's
using a
not a
slur
good
again.
person.
Like,
The clown one's hilarious.
I like the clown zombie. There's like an army guy.
Yeah, and I do think this sacrifice, as much as it works, I could have used when I was saying earlier, I wish the movie was longer. I wish I got a guy. I wish I got some more mellow
That's fair.
moments with him. Because he's set up well with him, how easily scared and kind of traumatized he is, and it is a very satisfying sacrifice. But I would have liked to spend a little more time with him.
And maybe it's just me personally, but I think because it's a self-sacrifice, it's a little less disturbing for me. But I do see what you're saying. Um, but I'm completely with these guys. If I see this massive zombies like going down an elevator, I'm wrong.
So we're
I'm with Joe Pilato.
I am
We're
Joe
getting-
Pilato.
I stand with Joe Pilato.
Yeah, I would abandon these guys.
we're getting close enough to it now. I'll go ahead and bring this up because I don't think Noah
Yeah.
knows about this. So you remember how I said at the beginning of the film they went down to Florida to shoot the outside coverage, right?
Yeah.
So for the gore they use a lot of like pig intestines and animal guts. So they put it all in a fridge before they went down to Florida. Somebody unplugged the fridge, and
Oh
it was
no.
left there for like 2 weeks.
Oh
They
no.
get back, all of it spoiled, but they don't have the money to replace it. So for
Yeah.
Rhodes' big death scene, they just had to use it.
Oh my
2
God.
weeks spoiled animal guts, and he's covered in that stuff for like 4 hours to get the
Jeez, dude.
shots.
To quote Angry Joe, 4 hours.
Yeah. No, he talked about like when he has to do the like inhale, he nearly vomited.
I'm sure the smell was excruciating. I feel more bad for the zombie actors who actually had to bite into it. A lot of them got ill
Yeah.
filming this
Yeah.
movie because fuck,
You get like someone
they
else
did it.
from that.
I'm glad no one died.
Yeah.
This is why George Romero is the Frankenstein of this movie because he does some questionable shit.
But
That
I
is
mean,
pretty
what else was he
questionable.
supposed to do? Like
Yeah,
it wasn't a good choice, but it was the only one.
that is correct. The movie worked out. But yeah, having being for a lot of people like us who love the zombie subgenre, they're like, oh, I want to be a zombie in like The Walking Dead or a movie or whatever. And for me personally, that's never been that appealing because I can't handle that much makeup well.
No,
And if you're
even if I wanted to be an actor, the minute you ask me to put rotten animal guts in my mouth, I'm leaving.
I can't do it.
No, yeah. No way. All right, okay, here we go. Here it is.
Dude, this death's amazing.
So Tom Savini has a
this
really funny
messed
story
me
about
up.
this. This is brutal. Somebody had to point out to him the vocal cords thing. That's not intentional.
That's amazing.
Is
Like
it
that
not?
high pitch,
No. He didn't realize it.
Wow.
It's so good, and
I didn't know that.
it's such a good effect where it's not until you really zero in on it. Oh, that head, that's a fake head. But there's a real person there doing the arm acting.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
funny
It's
too
such a
because the
seamless effect.
zombies are also participating, like they're moving the body so that it looks real. I think this guy's death is just as bad, if not worse. The eyelid ripping from here up.
Oh, it's messed up.
It's
Although
pretty messed up too. I think
He deserves it.
I think what's more effective for me about the first one though
is
is
the
the
sound.
noise that he makes. It's like,
Me
oh
too.
my god.
That when I first watched this was definitely one of the most violent movies I had ever seen. Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't
Forgot to
watch
let
this at a
Hayden know
young
we were
age, so it
going.
didn't traumatize me or anything. But I was like, Jesus.
This is a movie Art the Clown watched when he was a child and
Yeah,
was inspired by.
I've I still think the best death in any of these is the guy that in the middle of a zombie attack decides to put his hand in the blood pressure cuff.
What's wrong with that guy?
God damn it, Rollins, open the door.
And then I think this guy's death is honestly maybe the most real,
Yeah.
like of all the deaths in the movie.
No, that's what I like about it is why like I don't think he's fully a bad person. He's just he's giving into that those like baser instincts of like he's doing whatever he
Yeah.
wants.
I
Can
don't think he's
finish?
one-dimensional. Is what I'll
Right.
say. Yeah.
Well, right, but that's the whole thing with being one dimensional. It's not you're not fully bad, you're not fully good. You're somewhere in the middle.
You
Yes,
can be
he
mostly bad. I
It's
think
it's
he is
a it's a
two-thirds
it's a
bad.
scale,
okay.
you know?
He is bad. He deserved what he got.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I'm just saying, be very careful, John.
No, but as I said earlier, he has some human moments, like when his friend is bit and asks him to put him down, and he really doesn't want to, but he does it. Like he has those human moments where he's not, like Noah said, he's not one note.
Yeah.
And his death, again, it's such a simple effect. He just has a fake gun in his mouth, and then there's a hose squirting out some fake blood on the wall behind him. But it's so seamless and it's
It's
so
so seamless.
brutal and real, where you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Tyler has a question for you in the chat, Noah.
Oh. Um. Okay. Yeah. So good thing you brought that up, Tyler. This is something that I told John recently. I've actually never seen the original Scooby-Doo show.
Oh my god.
So I don't have like really any picks off the top of my head for that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to get back to you. I don't know. Did you want us to do just the original Scooby Doo show, or like I could do some like what's new Scooby Doo or something? I don't know.
I know I'd lean toward the original, but I'm good with the mix. And I told him, like, we haven't dated this yet. Like, we might not get to this for a few weeks, so we'll figure it out.
And John and I'm fine with John and Robert picking the majority of it. Like
we're discovering so many firsts about people. Noah's never seen the original Scooby Doo. I discovered the other day that Austin's never had no idea what biscuits and gravy was.
Well, that's because he's a sheltered Canadian.
No, he was like, "What is that?" And I sent him a picture. He's like, "That looks revolting." I was like, "Dude, biscuits and gravy is like one of the best breakfast foods." He was shocked we eat that for breakfast.
Oh, that's a pretty good effect too when that zombie gets shot.
Oh, so what I was gonna say is what I like about that guy's death is at the end he's asking for forgiveness of what he's done. But he said some racist things, so he's all bad and we should just condemn him.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Darth Vader conundrum where you can do all this horrible shit through your life, but if you redeem yourself at the last second, when you die, you get to go to Jedi heaven and be a Force ghost, and it's fine.
Oh,
well, but it's also different with Darth Vader. Lucas envisions that Darth Vader and Anakin are two separate people in the same body.
Actually, you know what?
That's a different conversation.
This guy's a good person because we didn't see him murder children like Darth
I'm
Vader.
not saying he's a good person, but I don't think it boils down to he said bad thing, therefore he bad person.
John, I don't want to be stuck on this. All we're
so
is
here's the best
dude
scene in
is
the
a
movie.
racist. That's not cool.
Here's the best scene in the movie.
This scene's incredible.
No, this is one of the biggest, like, it's just like, oh, the guy's getting what he deserves scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the other guy asked for forgiveness, so he's the hero.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think it's a good point of comparison to look at each of their last lines. Where
Mhm.
that guy's begging for forgiveness. He is a bit more of a three-dimensional character than Rhodes. I will admit, and I'll
Rhodes is
agree
the
with
more
John
evil
in
of
that.
the two.
Yeah, Rhodes is like, I hope you choke on it. So
Yeah, and
he just
Rhodes
goes out
is
spiteful.
Rhodes is the leader. The other guy's a follower. The other guy is, just sucked into his environment and giving into his baser instincts, which is, all throughout this movie. And what Dr. Frankenstein was trying to say. It's like, oh, the zombies are just us. It's just all instinct and
It's cathartic. That's the word I was looking for.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's super cathartic.
Come on!
If
This
no
is
one
where he goes
has
full over the top. Like, why are you screaming?
It's also a great wraparound to the opening shot of the movie with all the zombie hands coming out of the wall. Like, this is such a great callback to that with all those hands just surrounding him. It's such a good shot.
Yeah, I love that shot.
I
And
love that Bub doesn't actually get the food, but he's the one
right,
responsible, and the salute.
it's perfect. He shoots him. He gets to relish at his death because he killed his dad, and that's fucked up. Uh, No, Bub, come back. I
They're
He should
setting
have
up
been
forgive
in.
me.
the
He
Bub
should have been in.
spinoff.
This is the scene, Noah. That
Oh
those
Yeah,
god.
gore effects are 2 week rotten animal intestines.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah, because now this is the scene where then you get a lot of shots of them like munching on him on his guts.
Yep.
Oh god.
It's really disgusting to think about now
So good.
with that information.
And then here we have how all of these movies end is just a big old zombie montage of them just walking around the place, eating guts,
Little
having a
zombie
good old
picnic
time.
here.
And as for Bub a minute ago, if no one has made a James Bond gun barrel parody, but with Bub turning and shooting at the screen, that is a crime, and someone needs to get on that.
Get on it, Robert.
I'll get on it if no one else has.
Da-da-da.
Tyler says, I'm happy to pick your episode if you want, but well, don't pick stuff that you just think that we'd like. Pick stuff that you want us to talk about. That's the point of
Yeah, that's the kind of the thing, Tyler. Yeah, like I'm fine with you picking for me. In fact, I think you should have more of a say because it's your
yeah.
pick. So
Like I'm happy to pick my episode if you need me to, but I don't know.
And Tyler, if you want to stick with just the original show, like I'd be down for that because I know that show very. Noah's never seen any of it, so getting his reaction will be fun. But
yeah,
again, it's your pick. Like,
Noah's been living
I
under a
grew up in
rock,
the
folks.
2000s with What's New Scooby Doo. That's my era of
You say
Scooby
that
Doo.
like it's a defense. I also grew up in the 2000s, and I've seen the original show.
I just never thought to go back. There's no way for me to watch it. But that's probably not true. But anyway.
back to this movie.
So
Yeah, oh
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
one thing I'm not entirely sure about. This ending feels too easy. Like the zombies, she's going to the helicopter, and then oh, it's a dream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't like that.
it's a nice callback to the opening with her waking up from nightmare, and I don't. I was talking to this about this with Noah while you were gone. Like, I don't dislike the ending. It just feels the most like, oh yeah, it's just kind of the last movie again that they get away for how nihilistic this movie is and how much Romero wants you to like Bub and the zombie. I feel like this is a movie where everyone probably die.
I mean, I would argue this is a happier ending than Dawn.
Right. And it's a little jarring.
But also, how much of that was a dream?
Mhm. Like I said, Dawn hits that sweet spot for me where it's cathartic enough, but while also being kind of a downer. It's ambiguous and it's bittersweet. This is a nice final shot, marking down the days. Again, nice callback to the opening. It's just like, oh, that's how it ends. Okay. I'm not saying
All
it's a
right.
bad ending. I just don't know if it's the best ending for this movie, but still like it.
Okay, so that has been our commentary on Day of the Dead. If you are watching after the fact, we do appreciate it, and consider hitting that subscribe button or throwing us a thumbs up if you liked this commentary. If you're watching live, we'll be back in 10-15 minutes. I do need a minute to go do some stuff for my mom. So that's why we're wrapping up before the credits roll. And then Robert and I are gonna play some. I almost said The Last of Us just on like instinct. We're gonna play some Evil Dead, the game. And Hayden might be joining us. I had invited him to this commentary and then I forgot to message him, so that's my bad. It's fine.
Whoops.
But yeah, we will see you guys here in the next few minutes, and then we'll be back Sunday, where I think we'll be starting the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah. We don't have any other DLC in the original.
We got one
do
more DLC, but that probably won't take long if I even do it, because it's not really a canon thing. It's just like a challenge
Okay.
map.
Okay.
We might just jump into the remake.
I might not be available this Sunday, so if you want to do the DLC or just
I'm running this monkey farm, and you're gonna be there. But anyway,
I just swear to God.
Yeah, just let us know. And then yeah, so we'll be back, like I said, in about 10-15 minutes. I'll have to change the timer, but thanks for hanging out, everybody.